Hello, my name is Jamie Cannibal and this is Budman. The story I'm going to be doing today is Gnomes Diggers. Yeah. For people who want to know about Disc of Thrones, the next episode will be a week late. Sorry, but that's how it is at the moment. For now we have Gnomes, and let me get to it. It's Diggers, and this is the start. Maslin was in his best clothes and waiting in the barn. There was a priest of the old tribe with him, and Budman and Angelo. At the moment he saw Grimma with the alchemist holding her arm. She walked as witnesses hummed the wedding tune. She smiled in her dress and holding flowers. She reached Maslin and the humming stopped. The priest spoke. They made their vows and traded necklaces. Hers was one she had made when she was young. It had a black feather on it, with two big beads on either side. His was round keyring attached to a leather string. It was quite the part. They were given the cockpit of the JCB in the warehouse as the honeymoon suite. As they laid in one another's arms, she told Maslin of the Brazilian bromeliad, a tree that had giant flowers, and within the flowers a certain species of frog lived, and the frog could spend the whole life in one flower and reproduce and fall in love, all without ever going anywhere else. She said it was beautiful, and she wanted to see one day. Maslin told her, "If I ever go away, somewhere you can't follow, I will get one of those flowers, and when I return, I promise. And please wait, because if I lose you to an expedition, it will be too much fun for me to take. It will be too much for me to take. I would leave you with the thing to guide me home." She looked at Maslin and said, "Don't be a hero. We are not the answer to everything. But I promise you I will wait at the quarry if you leave, but only if you promise to come back. Maslin, promise me. We won't be left to die while you take over the stars." She had been referring to the thing's last transmission to the Gnomes. It had said it had used the last of its power, and it had sent a beacon transmission to neighbouring worlds that it will be tracked by alien forces. It said that if they may take you to Gnomes in space, but be aware of the race's politics and be smart. And then it had turned off. Maslin had put it on the computer in the office, which the Gnomes were happy to find worked and had music on. In other words, the Gnomes had found entertainment. There was a wide selection, and he had found that when it was on the computer, it still shone two small lights that would flicker on and off, but it would show that it was still operating, even if not quite like it was in the store. The king had died in his first week of being in the quarry. He had been buried behind the warehouse, and the foraging groups had not only a glass house with an abandoned fortune of vegetables, but the Gnomes had started cultivation food for the winter. They had brought packets of seed for vegetables and bulbs for some potatoes and onions. They had also found the edge of the quarry, and at the edge of the quarry, a chicken farm, one for eggs, and they had made a system of stealing eggs, but not too many to be caught, just enough to get away with it. They had also been caught training chickens as horses. They were very quick for Gnomes to get about on. They had to stop freeing them to ride on because the chicken farmer came to catch them in the quarry. But he didn't see one gnome. Some Gnomes were scared of him. When he came, the week became months. And then one night, when the lookout saw something come down from the sky, the first to the scene was Maslin, Budman and Angelo. They got there as the doors opened and out came a blue man with real big wrinkles on his face. With him was a turquoise female, also with wrinkles on her face. As they got off the ship, they didn't notice three small folk get on. Maslin just knew that this was his only chance at a future. He had to become part of what the thing was planning, and now he was stowing away on an alien ship. He had hoped Grimmer would forgive him, especially if he was to remember her dreams, and she was quite a clever gnome because she had learned how to read and was better at it than most of the gnomes. The aliens had a scanner, one in one hand and a laser pistol in the other. They walked from the quarry's field to the office. All the gnomes were hiding. As they walked into the office, the male alien spoke. "It's in here. This isn't quite what I expected for such a computer key to be," Egbar said. "There is no human life signs, but there's a lot of animal readings," Kato said, who was the turquoise alien. They opened the door and walked in. The computer was quietly playing music, and it was on, but there was no one there. Egbar looked at the keyboard. He picked up the black cube that was the thing and scanned it. "Bingo! I got the flight recorder. It's strange it should be here, unguarded, and in such a small form." He pulled out a plasma injector and the cube increased in size to that the equivalent of what it was to a gnome to a human. It had one flickering light, but it did not speak. Then Egbar and Kato left. They went back to their ship, and Egbar said as they got there, "That was the easiest snatch we've ever made. Do you think that was a setup, or do you think we have to fight a Talaxian bird of prey when we get into orbit?" She smiled at him and said, "Focus on the task. You have no idea how hard that flight recorder has been to find. It's over 100 years been missing on this planet." Kato looked around at the quarry and added, "Whatever brought it here, put the tracking beacon onto all quadrants, and let's hope they know that it's been found by the forces of where it came from." They both looked around one more time and got on the ship. Just when they were closing the doors, Grimmer got to the ship, and she watched it rise. She knew he would come. But wherever he's going, it was the origin of gnomes. As the ship became a dot in the sky, she fell to her knees and shouted, "Maslin, you promised! Don't make a woman wait in a hole!" She began to cry hard, because that's what the moment entailed. She really believed that she would never see that her man again, but as much as she tried to make a scene, she knew in her heart that Maslin was one gnome too hard to get rid of. Just because of aliens, he would risk everything to come back safely. But most of all, that if they found their people out there, there would be some kind of gnome there, and they would come for us in a ship which is his stolen or the other, but only breaking the laws of normal sized people. As for gnomes, they're the laws of survival that made stealing acceptable. She went to go and see the alchemist. He was gathering people for who were concerned that the leaders had just hitchhiked an alien ship and now were missing, with no knowledge of when it would be back or whether it would be back. The alchemist told the folk that we have enough supplies for the winter, and so far no humans have even worked out anything is living on in this quarry, so don't worry about our fears. And then he turned to old Granny Cannibal and asked the old crone, "Who is the leader of our people?" While Maslin and the others are gone. She moved forward and raised her walking stick at Grimmer. "She is a matriarch." Grimmer looked at the gnomes. "Heathen woman! It should be me as leader!" Nostradamus professed. A few gnomes cheered, and all the gnomes agreed that Cannibaloid was the one with the final say. Cannibaloid said, "Well, I'm the oldest and I say Grimmer." All the gnomes agreed with that except for the loud mouth of Nostradamus, who started chanting, "Burn the witch!" He got a few laughs. Over the next few days everything settled. And then one day came where she had big decisions to make, because a truck had parked at the gate and the man had come with bolt cutters to open the quarry gate. They had found the office with the heating on and music coming from the computer. One of the humans had said, "We've got visitors, Larry. Someone's been living in here, by the looks of it. Crackheads, most likely." They spent all day. Crackheads, most likely. Budman. End of part 1!